How about them Cowboys? Angry Cowboys fan. Born to battle. Some just means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the sun shines bright, that's where we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. And on yesterday's episode of First Take, Dan Orlovsky, Chris Canty, and Evan Cohen talk about the network's most favorite, most money-making topic, the Dallas Cowboys and their Super Bowl chances. During a particular part of the segment, though, Courtney Cronin asked an important question. Who's the most important player on the Dallas Cowboys if the team wants to make a playoff run? I think that's a pretty dope question if you ask me, Cowboys Nation. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to the guys over on First Take as they discuss who could be this year's difference maker for our Dallas Cowboys.
Who is the most important player, Dan, for them if they want to make a deep playoff run?
I'm going to say the rookie draft pick, Caleb Downs. I think the NFL overthought this. I think it's going to be similar to a Reuben Bain, that this player was a significantly better player than where he was drafted. And the reason I say Caleb Downs is this. If we just – because the D-line is going to be much improved. We know that because of some of the pieces that they've added. We look at the safeties for Dallas last year. 72% completion percentage when quarterbacks threw at the safeties. 9.3 yards per target when they threw at the safeties. 10 touchdowns, which is almost impossible to do, and 123 passer rating. So if I was a quarterback playing against Dallas, just throw at safeties. We're going to be okay. And so I think that if Caleb Downs is, who a lot of smart football people think he is, he's not only going to improve that position, you'll see a drastic improvement with the defense. If the defense takes that big step forward, I think this, I'll reiterate, I think it's a really good football team that's a playoff caliber football team.
Yo, Cowboys Nation, did you hear how she said Dan at the beginning of that? I mean, that's a pretty good take from Dan Orlovsky. I'll keep it a buck. I honestly thought that he was going to put everything on Dak Prescott's shoulders again. But picking Caleb Downs, you know, that's a safe pick. You can't go wrong with picking Caleb Downs. Also, Dan came with the facts when it came to how the safeties were getting cooked under Matt Eberflus. Also, if you listen to him at the end, he was going to contradict the take that he had previously during the segment when they were speaking about if the Dallas Cowboys could make it to a Super Bowl. But I'll talk about that a little bit more during the raw and uncut portion. Now let's go ahead and jump into the second clip so we can come back and talk about it. Let's go ahead, roll that clip.
Yeah, listen, Caleb Downs is a great pick. Think about this. Matt Patricia had him at Ohio State. He had Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese. He built the defense around Caleb Downs, not those other 2 guys who got drafted ahead of Caleb Downs.
Could it be their Cooper DeJean?
Yeah, exactly. I think Caleb Downs has that kind of special in him. But if the Dallas Cowboys are going to get to where I think they can go, which is to the Super Bowl, then the most important player has to be Quinnen Williams. I mean, Quinnen Williams has been in the league 7 years. 4 of those 7 seasons, they've been a top 10 defense with him as the best player. Breaking down opposing offenses from the interior is at a premium in the NFL. If you look at the final 4 teams in the playoffs last year, the New England Patriots, the Denver Broncos, the Seattle Seahawks, the LA Rams, they all had dominant interior presence on that defensive line that was able to break down offensive lines. So I think that Quinnen Williams is going to have to be the linchpin for the Dallas Cowboys, especially on the defensive side of the ball, if they're going to get to the Super Bowl.
Well, I tell you, Cowboys Nation, Chris Canty is bringing that energy to the set of First Take. He had the same energy when he was talking to Stephen A. Smith, and he showed it yesterday. I feel his take is correct, though, Cowboys Nation. The interior of our defensive front is going to be a difference maker in a lot of games for the Dallas Cowboys this season. The success of the defense is going to rely heavily on those big backs that we have at the defensive tackle position. I mean, not one team can stop the run, but they damn sure can slow the opposing offense's run game down. That's what I'm asking for when it comes to this Dallas Cowboys defense moving forward. Just control the bleeding. You know what I'm saying, Cowboys Nation? Now let's go ahead and get into the third clip so we can come back and unpack this raw and uncut.
Yeah, I think the most important player for the Dallas Cowboys this year is one from the 1960s Arkansas team. Jerry Jones. It's very clear that it's Jerry Jones. You know why Canty's able to sit here?
How?
I'm going to tell you. I'm glad you asked. Thanks, Dan. I'm going to tell you why. Because you know why Canty can sit here and say, I believe in the Dallas Cowboys?
Because he played for them?
Well, yes. But he has no distraction. There's no all-in comments. There's no comments from Jerry Jones, the most brilliant marketer and salesman this league has ever seen. And he's had extreme success. Let's not eliminate the 3 Super Bowls. But you know what the focus has been on? Football. Dan Orlovsky just gave a phenomenal breakdown of Caleb Downs in safety play. This time of year with the Dallas Cowboys, what are we normally talking about?
Contracts.
Dak's contract, CeeDee Lamb's contract. They actually cleaned up the George Pickens thing, where I think it's team friendly. Because you said, we'll see what kind of version of George Pickens. If they don't like the version of him, they can just release him. They're not on the books past next year, or past this year from the franchise tag. There's no Jerry Jones conversation right now. So if you're going to sit here and make an argument as to why they can make a run to the Super Bowl, it's because you're defining the Cowboys Super Bowl based on football, the way that the other 31 teams define it. Usually, they don't define it that way.
Damn, Cowboys Nation. Evan Cohen flat out said Jerry Jones. Even after this silent offseason that we've had, he thinks that Jerry Jones needs to be the one to get the Dallas Cowboys over the hump this year. I mean, that's a pretty interesting take, but let's talk about it a little bit further, shall we? Y'all ready for this raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, raw and uncut.
I'm being keeping it real. They keep it real. That's real.
You see, Cowboys Nation? This is a segment that I can get behind from the 4-letter network. We're all getting tired of the Cowboys Super Bowl contender conversation from ESPN. So for them to switch it up and to speak about what player could be the difference maker for the Dallas Cowboys, that was a good move, Cowboys Nation. Each analyst that gave their perspective had a pretty damn good perspective, Cowboys Nation. Yes, even Dan Orlovsky, even though he had to slow down because he was about to contradict himself from his earlier take. Earlier, he was beating on the drum that the Dallas Cowboys may not even make it to the playoffs and definitely isn't going to make it to the Super Bowl. But you saw him stutter at the end of his take, meaning he don't believe that. But Chris Canty was going in for the Dallas Cowboys. Throughout this entire segment, Chris Canty was banging on the table for the Dallas Cowboys and their potential to make a deep run into this year's playoffs. And who could help the Dallas Cowboys with that mission? Evan Cohen had a pretty good take when it came to Jerry Jones, because even I was waiting for Jerry Jones to just pop out of nowhere and start messing things up when they built it so great since the trade deadline of last year. He's been doing so well by staying out of the media. I don't even think that he's been on 105.3 The Fan in a minute. I mean, I know he hasn't been doing any interviews unless it had to do with the World Cup being hosted by AT&T Stadium. Usually, Jerry Jones would come up with anything to tell the media in order for the media to get to talking about the Dallas Cowboys. But not this year, Cowboys Nation. This year, Jerry Jones in the front office has been keeping a lot of the Dallas Cowboys moves kind of close to the chest. And that's something that I've been asking them to do for years now, Cowboys Nation. But I do get what Evan Cohen was saying, though. The Dallas Cowboys are going to need Jerry Jones to continue the selective aggression he and the Dallas Cowboys front office have been displaying this offseason, just so that the ball can continue to roll and that the players buy into Jerry Jones, let alone Christian Parker. We're going to need Jerry Jones to be on call if the Dallas Cowboys are missing a piece that could potentially solidify a position on the field, whether it's offense or defense. But what do I mean by that? Well, if a few games pass by this year and we're seeing noticeable cracks in the armor, then I got to have Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones to listen to the coaching staff and to get a player that they need so that they can fix what's going on out on the field. We can't have it like it was in 2023, where there were visible shortcomings at positions, but we had Jerry and Stephen Jones telling the coaching staff that they had to make it work. That's kind of like that movie Friday. You know, when Smokey's mom gave him $5 to go to the store and get her a pack of cigarettes, he held up the bill and he said, "This ain't enough." And she responded with, "Make it enough." They can't be running this organization like that if their goal is to win a Super Bowl championship. But like I always do with these types of videos, Cowboys Nation, I give my perspective to the question which was presented to the staff of First Take, you know, kind of like I was on the panel myself. So, who do I think is the most important player to help the Dallas Cowboys make a deep playoff run? Like I've said before, Cowboys Nation, I don't think it's going to be a player that gets this team over the hump. I believe it's going to be your coaching staff. I believe that it's going to be up to the coaching staff to be that deciding factor for the Dallas Cowboys to make a deep playoff run. I'm not just talking about the head coach. I'm not just talking about the offensive and defensive coordinators. I'm talking about the entirety of the coaching staff, from Brian Schottenheimer all the way down to the strength and conditioning team. They will be the ones to get this Dallas Cowboys team over the hump. But one thing that I've heard from Dallas Cowboys haters as well as Dak detractors is the fact that this Dallas Cowboys organization has had great teams in the past. Like Eagles Drew loves to bring up, even Zach Martin has said that we've had teams that could potentially get over the hump, but we just fell short. So if we've had these great teams and that we've had these teams that could get over the hump, we've had all this talent, I don't think said talent gets to the playoffs and just forgets how to play football, Cowboys Nation. I feel a nice portion of the blame can also go to the coaching staff just for not having these young men ready when it come playoff time. From Jason Garrett to Mike McCarthy, those Dallas Cowboys teams had coaches that Cowboys Nation complained about constantly. Commentators during the game also complained about them and even had some of the players complaining about them as well. Come on now, Cowboys Nation. We know y'all were fans when Mike McCarthy told the media that the team was nervous and he didn't have them prepared for that playoff game. That cannot be the reason that the Dallas Cowboys fall short this year. Last year, the Dallas Cowboys fell to a 7-9-1 record because one side of the football was historically bad, and I don't believe it was all due to a lack of talent on the defensive side of the ball. I believe that some of, if not most of, the players on the defense checked out when it came to the coach of the defensive side of the ball. You know this because Quinnen Williams was excited when Matt Eberflus was fired. The day that he got fired, Quinnen Williams went on X and he posted about it. You know this because of how close-minded Matt Eberflus was to the players last year, and when he listened to his players, we would end up winning the game and the defense would actually look good. When he didn't listen to the players and it was a bend but don't break defense, they was getting thrown all over, Cowboys Nation. So I believe that the coaching staff will be the thing that ushers this Dallas Cowboys team further into the playoffs. Like I've said before, it's going to come down to the chess match between Brian Schottenheimer or Clayton Adams versus the opposing team's defensive coordinator, as well as Christian Parker versus the opposing team's offensive coordinator. How can our coaching staff catch the opposing coaching staff slipping? How can we be more effective in the red zone this year? How can we use our offensive weaponry against opposing teams and not just be a copy and paste offense from 2025? How can Christian Parker disguise the defense enough to confuse opposing offensive quarterbacks throughout the league? How can he scheme simulated pressure if an edge rusher's natural ability doesn't consistently put him in a quarterback's face? How can Jayshon Barham be used against a heavy run opponent? How aggressive will Brian Schottenheimer be when it comes to 4th and 2 or 4th and 1 on the opponent's side of the field? Will he just trot out Brandon Aubrey like he did last year and just settle for 3 points? Or will he be more like Dan Campbell and risk it for the biscuit? We speak about the running backs and everything on this team. Will the Dallas Cowboys stay committed to the rushing attack, or will it be just another year where we're airing the ball out with Dak Prescott's arm? Is Cowboys Nation getting its hopes up when we hear about big backs, only for Dak Prescott to leave the game with 350 yards passing? You see, Cowboys Nation, for years this team has relied solely on the talent of the players out on the field without the combination of talented coaches. Let's keep it a buck, Cowboys Nation. Jason Garrett was soft, and Big Mike was confused and didn't know how to manage the clock or use some of his potential weapons that he had on the team. He never stuck to the run like he said he was going to do at the beginning when he got the job, and when we eventually made the playoffs, all opposing teams had to do was stop the pass while on defense and just run the ball at Micah Parsons while they were on offense, and the Dallas Cowboys were absolute barbecue chicken. We can't have it that way if we want to make it back to the playoffs and make noise while we're in said playoffs. So as much as some want to put all of it on Dak Prescott's shoulders or the shoulders of the players, I'm going to need everything to come together this year, Cowboys Nation. I remember somebody saying in my live that great players make great coaches. To me, great coaches make even greater players. It's not just up to the players to extract a high level of play from another player out on the team. A coach can coach a higher level of the player out of the player as well. So as Dak Prescott helps to make his receivers look great this year, the coach's scheme can combine with Dak Prescott's ability at the quarterback position to make those same players look elite out on the field. As the offensive line helps Javonte Williams and the running back room look great, the scheme from Clayton Adams can make them all look elite. As Quinnen Williams and those defensive tackles make the edge rushers look great, an even greater defensive scheme can make them look elite, in turn, making the back end of the defense look elite as well. But this is what I love about football, Cowboys Nation. It's the ultimate team sport. An organization puts together a team for a reason. They put together a team because it takes a team to fulfill that dream. And that dream, Cowboys Nation, it's not always about cream. It's doing everything the way it's supposed to be done in order for that dream to be played out through the scheme on the field so that the team becomes and remains supreme. Bars. This has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Cowboys Nation, who do you feel that player is that can help this Dallas Cowboys team make a deep playoff run? Me, personally, I don't think it's just one player. But what do you think? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help get it out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, drop a like on this video, share it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device and you haven't used them up yet, make sure you hype this video. Doing so could help get the word out to Cowboys fans. They'll come over to the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel and want to become Angry Cowboys fans themselves. And if you are DC for life and you like what you've seen so far during this offseason and you have confidence in this 2026 Dallas Cowboys team, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you do not miss anything from the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel. Plus, if you're into Madden 26, College Football 27, or Mortal Kombat talk, check out my other YouTube channel, the Angry Gaming Fan YouTube channel. I'll make sure I put the link to that as well as the gamer tag in the description. I haven't been playing much because I have been nonstop trying to get this content out, but believe me, I will get back to the Angry Gaming Fan channel, I promise you. But the haters can say what they want, Cowboys Nation. All I can say is that the haters wouldn't be talking nor comparing any player on the Dallas Cowboys if they weren't worried about the capabilities of this team this year. I believe rival fan bases are scared, Cowboys Nation. Let's just hope that this Dallas Cowboys team can give these haters a reason to be scared this year. Training camp officially starts tomorrow, which means the shot of making a deep playoff run also starts tomorrow. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.